Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hey everybody, welcome to Triviality, the show where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. I am Ken. I'm going to introduce everybody around today. I'm not going to be the host, but today we have Neal and Jeff in the studio.
Hey, good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's been a long time since the last recording. You could imagine that Matt's not here because this is the same day as the last one.
Right. Well, yeah, last time we said he was getting donuts, but today's actually working in a pit crew on NASCAR.
But we actually have a replacement Matt who's going to be my teammate today, Matt Colman. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, and Matt, you're a big Seinfeld fan. I know you told us before, right? We're going to have to do a bonus episode for that.
Yeah, I am definitely a big Seinfeld fan, so...
So we'll be lucky to have you back another time then, so you can tell us all about the Marble Rye.
That sounds good.
And tell us a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm from Wichita, Kansas. I'm an attorney here in town, and been a big trivia fan for a long time, and got into several of the different trivia podcasts, and have been a big fan of your show since the beginning. So,
fantastic. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And providing the questions today is David Wilkinson. How are you today?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us the second time. I know you were on the Harry Potter episode.
Yeah, it's still smarting from that one. The 5 points on the bonus rounds is what cost us, and so me doing bad math, and yeah, it still hurts. It still hurts. So I'm bringing some pain.
It happens sometimes, we understand.
You just got to take that memory right out of your brain, just like that pool of water, or whatever it's called, Jeff.
Well, can you jog the listeners' memory on a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is David Wilkinson. I'm from Salt Lake City area, Utah. I do data entry for the Postal Service, so I will be promoting this on our group there because a lot of people listen to podcasts. So hello to the Salt Lake City Remote Encoding Center for the Postal Service.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And so we just do a lot of typing, a lot of listening to podcasts. Love trivia. I actually kind of coincidentally stumbled upon your guys' podcast at about the same time that I found something birds and stuff I never knew, or whatever that one's called with sorry about that, Jeff Ravilla. He's been on your show, you've been on his show. I found all three of you at about the same time, and then going through all your back catalogs, realized, oh hey, they all work together, they know each other.
That's some good company right there.
Yeah, great team of trivia hosts.
Well, in honor of our host, I say that our team match should be called The Postman Cometh. How about that?
Ironically, I actually had the same job that David had at one point in time when that job was here in Wichita. So
awesome, yeah. There you go. We same wavelength.
So the Postman Cometh versus Team Triviality.
I guess so.
Toss it to the rules guy.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And another great reading from the rules guy. Thank you so much.
He's so consistent.
He does that every time, just one take. Super
brevity.
All right, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and start the game for us, Dave?
Okie dokie, gentlemen, and let me bring up my questions here. Okay, first question for you. What team in one of the Big Four sports leagues has an extended stretch of away games every year that is commonly referred to as the Rodeo Road Trip?
I know why it's called that. I just don't know the team, but you just want to go with that?
I don't care.
Okay. All right, we're locked in.
All right, Matt. Well, I know the Chicago Blackhawks used to have what they called the circus trip due to the circus being in the United Center. The rodeo trip, I don't know. Do you think they would do a rodeo in an indoor arena?
Well, my thought was NHL as well. I know there's a big rodeo that occurs every year in Calgary. So I was curious if they did that in the same place where the Flames played.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. I didn't know that about Calgary, but let's do the Calgary Flames.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So Jeff and I, Jeff wasn't sure, and I think the story Ken talked about was what I was thinking of with the Blackhawks. I just knew on the radio they always say it was the circus tour. Or I thought it was rodeo tour, but maybe I I heard circus, so we went with Blackhawks regardless.
Okay, so we've got a Blackhawks, and we've got a Calgary Flames, and we've got a 0 points all around.
All right, good start.
The correct answer is the San Antonio Spurs. They take about a 13-game road trip in the middle of, I believe it's February every year.
All right, well, we were kind of on the right track there, but it is what it is. All right, next question, please.
Okay, moving on to some literature. Let's get some culture in here. What narrative poem is about a military maneuver by the British in the Battle of Balaclava during the Crimean War?
All right, we're locked in.
All right, do you have any idea on this one? I'm kind of at a loss, too.
I believe it is the Charge of the Light Brigade.
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's got to be it, yeah.
All right, let's go with that.
Just for having something on paper, we know it's wrong. We just went Longfellow.
Okay, so Longfellow and Charge of the Light Brigade. We will get some points over there for the Postman Cometh. It is the Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Give it up to Matt.
I love that name.
Yeah,
Matt
it's always
Coleman?
fun.
No, yeah. I do love the name Matt Colman, but I love the name The Charge of
Yeah.
the Light Brigade even more.
All right, go ahead with question 3.
And as a side note to that one, I'm a big time nerd, and I go around the country helping run Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. And there's actually a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Charge of the Light Brigade that I was going to make an entire category of questions that had nothing to do with Yu-Gi-Oh, but the answers were Yu-Gi-Oh card names, so that if you had my same specific nerddom, you could win. But didn't go that direction. So, but sticking with the military maneuvers and military, in World War II, the United States developed a weapon to be used against the Japanese that would have used thousands of these animals, each with a small, timed incendiary bomb attached to them. Which animal is it? And I just need the specific. I need the general. I don't want necessarily specific species and genus and phylum and all that, just the general.
Okay.
Any insights here?
I don't know. I feel like I've heard the term like cat bomb. I don't think they put cats, but
Well, what did we send into space?
monkey and a dog.
I was wondering, I don't think we could do that to a dog, right?
I don't know. I mean, what would be? They put an explosive on it. It would have to be an animal that could get in places that are small.
How about some sharks with laser beams
Attached to
their
their
heads?
freaking heads.
No, that was the 60s.
Yeah, right.
Couldn't really put it on a bird. I mean, birds could get a lot of places, but they'd probably be too heavy.
Something that could get into like trenches, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe like mice. Mice get in a lot of places.
Mice.
What? I don't know how big your incendiary devices would have to be. I'm imagining it might have to be a slightly bigger animal, but
Yeah. Well, if you'd rather go dog
like
or
maybe possum or raccoon or something.
okay. I think we're locked in.
Okay, Matt. Bats kind of popped into my head, but I'm not really sure on this.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I know I was thinking small animals, dogs, mice or rats, something like that. I know at one point in time they also used dolphins for to detonate explosive devices, but I don't think that's this one. So I don't know. What are your
I kind of
thoughts?
like bats because you can, they had a lot of those like kind of underground, caverns and stuff. So I think maybe the bats could fly in there and kind of navigate around in there.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
All right, we're gonna go bats.
Yeah, we probably
I'm the Batman.
probably could have talked it out more. Jeff seemed to be pretty hard on mice, so we just went with mice.
Okay, well, mice kind of are, the non-flying versions of these, and we do get some points for the Postman Cometh because it is bats.
Wow. Well done.
Nicely done.
I had a
They
hunch
took-
on that one.
Yeah, another thing I learned from listening to podcasts, they took bats that were hibernating, had a bomb with about 1,000 of them in each bomb, had a little incendiary device on the back, and so that they would release them, they would fly into, specifically in Japan, where most of their houses and buildings were built of wood and paper and flammable materials. So they'd fly into all those tiny little crevices that you can't get to and start fires and basically burn down entire cities.
Wow.
But
Wow.
luckily, we never used them.
Start.
So it was developed.
Is that also a Yu-Gi-Oh card or no?
No. Bat bomb is not. I was thinking about putting a clue in there, but I couldn't decide if, it would be too easy to say, Bruce Wayne approved. I was trying to think maybe Oswald Cobblepot would approve, but that might lead you to thinking it was penguins. So
No, I think that was good. It's just we just didn't talk about it enough, and but now I'm just gonna
Now I'm thinking about Grave of the Fireflies, and I'm depressed.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right, next
Okay.
question, please.
Question number 4. What is the difference between an acronym and an initialization? And all answers must include a correct example of each.
I think I know this one. Matt,
Okay.
do you have a hunch as well?
I have a little bit of an idea, but not really.
Do you have a follow-up question or something? Or
Me?
oh yeah, I thought maybe it looked like you did.
Oh, so you guys are locked in?
No, they can.
You can lock in.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So the difference between an acronym and an initialism is a word, right? Made up of the acronym versus like...
That's what we're thinking. So you put FUBAR for acronym, which is up beyond all repair. I believe, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and then initialization as FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Could be.
Because it has an initial.
I always forget the difference.
I forget I mean, that seems right logically. So you just want to go with that?
Sure.
All right. So we're going with FUBAR for acronym and FBI for initialization.
All right. Yeah, we had kind of the same thing. Acronym would form a word when spelled out, and the initialization would just be letters that stood for. So FBI for Federal Bureau of Investigation for the initialization, and I put SHARP, Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice, for the acronym.
Okay, so you guys both teams are going to get points on that. Initialization, you just say the letters, like FBI is the example I have here, and acronym is when you take those initials and make a word. So I used IHOP as mine.
Nice.
Ooh, now I want pancakes.
Exactly. Okay, question number 5. First appearing in the movie Wall-E, what fictional company is seen in the background of several other Pixar movies, including being the company that makes Buzz Lightyear's batteries in Toy Story 3, and the company whose construction equipment was all around Carl's house in the movie Up? I will accept the initialization of their name so long as you don't take 1 week to come up with it.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, it's been okay. We're in. Even though I don't know that much about Pixar.
I'm very not solid on this.
Well, my guess is given the clue that it was a reference to the Bare Naked Ladies, so I was going to say BNL as the company.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, so Team Postman cometh in with BNL. What is Team Triviality locking
I
in
am
with?
inclined to agree. BNL.
Yep, it is BNL, which stands for by and large.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Now that
I won't forget it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one that it's fun that if there's I'm sure you may have heard of it. It's called the Pixar theory, where it's a fan theory that all the Pixar movies are in the same universe in the same timeline, just stretched out, and they play a fairly large role in that. So
Cars is hard to wedge in there, but
yeah, okay, so. Oh no, Cars is the most interesting one because Cars is supposed to be super far in the future after all humans
it's
have
a
been gone
post-apocalyptic
extinct.
merger of humans and technology.
post-apocalyptic hellscape.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, humans merge with robot technology and become cars.
Wow.
Yep.
What's your favorite Pixar movie, David?
Personally, I'm a fan of Monsters Inc. When it first came out, I had a niece who was about 3 years old that reminded me just of like Boo. So I love that movie. And now my daughter, we even have pictures of it. I have a daughter who is just about to turn 3 and can be a doppelganger for Boo. So it's like, that one gets me every time.
One of the characters from that was the one who landed the plane in the Hudson, right?
Sully, yeah. He went on to make something of himself.
Yep, he did.
Okay. And actually, going back to the Pixar theory, that's my favorite one, is that Monsters, Inc. is the furthest in the future, and there's all sorts of craziness as to how that one goes, and the doors are time travel. Look, Google Pixar theory, you won't be disappointed. It's a fun read.
Can't wait.
Okay.
It's a little
So
crazy.
moving on. Yeah, so moving on to question number 6. If I were to hand you an item and tell you that it was in chased order, what would you be holding? And for 5 bonus points, what does chased order stand for? And that is chased, Chased.
Have you ever heard of that?
No. When he said chased, I thought he was speaking of CHASTE.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Which is what Neal's been being
Yeah.
for the last 30.
Like something weirdly
33
sparks in
years.
my mind. Is it potentially like some kind of sports stats or
Possibly. Yeah.
some? I mean,
I've
he
never
said
heard
holding though, so that's kind of weird.
Matt,
Yeah.
do you know this one?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I've never heard this holding something in chased order. Could it be like?
Okay, real quick, guys. Since it is it's a bit general of a question, I will give you one extra clue here.
Okay.
Honestly, if you don't know chased order, this one might not be much of a clue, but I will give you the name Cy Stebbins. S-I is the first name, last name Stebbins, and he's the one who is known for developing this.
All right, so they're in. I have really no clue. Do you just want to say like arranged by height or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I don't have any idea on this one.
On this one, so arranged by height.
Well, I was thinking it might be like sorting mail or something, just given the background. But since Matt doesn't know it, that ruled that one out for me.
Yeah, we didn't have any idea. The name Cy Stebbins doesn't ring a bell. It does sound like a performer's name, so we just put playing cards as in Magic, like they put them in a specific order.
Okay, so we've got people arranged by height and a deck of playing cards. Somehow, magically, you will be getting 5 or 10 points for Team Triviality for a deck of cards. And did you want to at all attempt the chased order? Did you have anything for that?
It's what it stands for?
Yeah.
Cards. No. I'm sorry. I have no idea.
That's fine. It's Cy Stebbins. It's called a Cy Stebbins stack. It's a way to stack a deck of cards, and chased order stands for CHSD: clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Mm-hmm. Is the order that you put the suits in, and then there's also a numerical order that you put them in as well, so that no matter what card somebody picks out, you can tell what the next card of the deck will be.
Gotcha. That's cool.
I do love Magic. I should have known that off the top of my head.
And me and Jeff love Magic the Gathering.
A little different.
Okay, moving on to question number 7. Slightly less, out there and weird, but at the same time, it's about the human body. Where on the human body would you find the pinna? Pinna.
It's been a while. I definitely have heard it. The fact that it's not coming to me is troublesome. But
yeah, but you initially wrote that down right away, so we're locked in.
All right. Do you have any initial thoughts?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is the word pinna. Kind of has the same root as like the word pinnacle, so I didn't know if it meant like the top. So I was thinking maybe like the top of the head, the crown of the head, something like along those lines.
My initial thought was maybe the knee.
Okay.
Maybe I know it's not the kneecap, but maybe like one of the tendons or something like that.
I don't think it's one of the tendons of the knee, but
so the crown of the head.
I don't know. I mean, that was my initial thought when I heard it, but I don't really have any justification other than what the word kind of sounds like.
That's fine with me. Let's go with crown of the head.
Okay, so Postman Comment says crown of the head. What does Team Triviality lock in with?
We said it's on your face. Do you need us to be more specific?
I will say you need to be more specific than that.
I think it's the bridge of your nose.
Okay, so we got a bridge of the nose and a crown of the head. Neither is correct. It is actually the outer exterior part of your ear.
Oh, that's right. I knew it was somewhere on the head.
That is the pinna, and if I'm remembering correctly from my human biology class like 7 years ago, they said that the science has no idea why they're shaped the way they are, the kind of very specific ear shape. They don't know why it's shaped that way, but it just is, and it works. So
because God has a sense of humor.
Exactly. Just look at the duck-billed platypus.
I have a way to remember that now, because I'm thinking you get your ears pierced, and piercing is like pinning your ears. So now I'm going to remember that pinna.
If you wish.
If I wish. I'll forget it tomorrow.
It sounds like a ska band from the 90s, the ear pinnas. Okay, so moving on to something a little bit more silly, since you guys like to have all sorts of silliness. Number 8. What was the first feature film to feature audible flatulence?
Are you willing to lock in with me?
I feel like I've heard this very recently, but it's not coming to me. So if you have an answer, I'm okay with letting you lock it in.
Okay.
Any ideas?
I'm trying to think of movies with like flatulence in it, and that's not even coming to mind.
Audible flatulence.
I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff.
So I'm thinking. Okay, so flatulence. I'm leaning towards, and it's someone that Ken hates. It's actually someone that Ken likes, someone that he hates. Either a Monty Python, but they're too highbrow, or Mel Brooks, and Ken hates Mel Brooks, but.
I don't hate him as a person. I just don't really care for his movies.
Is there like a specific moment in a movie that's punctuated by that you could think of? Or they might want to make...
Blazing Saddles has a big fart thing. History of the World Part 2, maybe. Mel Brooks. I'm thinking of like Holy Grail.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe Blazing Saddles sounds okay. I don't know if it's right though. I know there's a fart thing in there. I can't tell you if it's the first one. I feel like it'd be black and white, but I could be completely wrong. Right now in my head, I'm thinking of Psycho and the toilet flushing. So
it's not the jazz singer.
Yeah. L. Jolson and what did not fart on camera. That's for sure. Hey everyone, it's a talkie. Anyway, yeah, you just want to go Blazing Saddles?
Sure.
Okay. All right, we're locked in with Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, I also had Blazing Saddles.
Well, there is definitely a reason those saddles were blazing. It is Blazing Saddles.
Nice.
Me and Neal, even though we're on opposite teams, just gave each other the pound. Just for being on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking as well, Matt?
Yeah, as soon as he said Blazing Saddles, I was pretty sure that was right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so now moving on to question number 9. This is I'm looking for a specific band here, the name of a band. Although they are often misattributed with it, this band did not sing Stacy's Mom, probably because they were too busy pining for the girl that all the bad guys want, even though she was still preoccupied with 1985 because high school never ends.
Yeah.
What band am I talking about?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I got this one.
yeah, I know this one
That's
too.
the band
So,
that did it.
This is the band that did it. He wants the band that everyone thinks did it.
Correct.
This band the correct answer did not do Stacy's Mom.
Okay, so we're locked in.
Bowling for Soup, yeah?
yeah, 100%.
All right, these are guys that I have met once. Nice guys. Bowling for Soup.
We also went with Bowling for Soup.
It's too bad because Fountains of Wayne is a pretty sweet band.
Yeah, right.
Yep. One of my all-time favorite bands. One of the first bands I ever got to see live perform right after "Girl All the Bad Guys Want" came out. Bowling for Soup is the correct answer. They often at their live shows, sometimes they will play a cover of Stacy's Mom because they get frequently asked if that's them or told that that's them, and play Stacy's Mom. So.
And they're pretty funny guys, so.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah, my brother used to take me to see them all the time, and I remember the guitar player always would give his picks out during the show. He'd do a weird strumming technique and then flick his picks out in the audience.
Not as cool as the guy from Blues Traveler throwing out his harmonicas, but
Less DNA though. Okay, so moving on to question number 10, last question of this round. Which actor, and yes, I did put air quotes around actor because basically all he's known for is his appearance in an Austin Powers movie, was also a mixed martial arts fighter with a notable professional record of 0-4, including a loss at UFC 4 when he was submitted after taking repeated punches to the groin from a boxer. But don't feel too bad for him, as he's now likely spending the rest of his life in prison for some truly odd jobs that he has done since then. I will accept either the actor's name or his character from Austin Powers.
Wow.
Yeah, wordy question.
This is the first Austin Powers, I'm guessing, right?
I think that's where the hint is, yes.
Can you remember someone who was a tough dude in that movie?
Yeah, I think the hint is Odd Job. I think it's the guy who plays the Odd Job parody.
Oh, I don't know his name, though.
Who throws a shoe?
Oh, that's right, yeah. Who throws a shoe? Really?
Yeah, I don't know this guy, the actor's name for sure. I don't know it. Do you know the character's name or the actor's name?
I think I know the character's name. I don't know the actor's name.
All right, we're going to lock in with whatever he thinks the character's name is.
Is that what we're looking for?
Either the character or the actor's name, right?
Yeah, you can have either.
Do you remember his name? It's it's not like Mr. Takahashi or something, right?
No.
Like a formal name? Okay.
No.
Mr. Yamamoto, that might be Minority Report. Welcome to the Gap. I'm trying to remember. He goes, this is my... Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, I remember his name for sure.
Okay.
So it's not number 2.
No, that's Robert Wagner.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What is his name like Odd Job? I can't say this on air, so I was gonna put that as an answer, but I can't.
you could put it on air. We would just censor you.
Just bleep it. Okay, fine. All right, we're in.
Oh, yeah. So, funny enough, I just remembered this guy's name for sure, and his name in the movie is Random Task.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Yep. That's what I had.
All right. Well, we're incorrect, but we went with job.
Okay, so we've got one job and one random task. They sound about the same, actually. But yeah, the correct answer is his actual name is Joe Sun, and he played the character Random Task in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery.
That's pretty great. Good recollection on that, you guys.
Man.
So,
And yeah, If you want an interesting read, go to his Wikipedia and look at all the stuff that he's in jail for.
He's a bad dude.
Bad dude.
Bad dude.
All right.
Yep.
So
that's why it does you good. Look up Joe Son, UFC 4. See him get on the ground with a boxer on top of him, just punching him in the groin over and over and over. It makes you feel good about your life.
It almost makes
All
up
right.
for the killing.
Yeah, it's almost a touch, almost.
well, at the end of round 1, it looks like the Postman Cometh is up 70-50.
Okay, so this one is titled "A Case of the Mondays," but it's nowhere near as fun as Office Space. I'm sorry. Thinking of some interesting ideas to do for these rounds, I came up with this one. I will give you 10 specific dates in history, notable dates in history, and you have a 1 in 7 chance of getting the correct answer because you will tell me what day of the week this occurred on.
Whoa.
Wow.
So 5 points apiece, I take it?
Yep, 5 points apiece.
Great.
Okay, so first up, I'll go through them relatively quick, and then if we need to go back and go over them again, I will do so. Number 1 is 9/11, September 11th, 2001. What day of the week? Number 2 is the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. Number 3, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech on August 28th, 1963. Number 4 is the original Independence Day, July 4th, 1776. Number 5, along those same lines, the original Constitution Day, September 17th, 1787, when the Constitution was signed. So number 6 is the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which more or less started World War I, on June 28th, 1914. Number 7, the delivering of the Gettysburg Address, not the Battle of Gettysburg, but the actual giving of the Gettysburg Address on November 19th, 1863. Number 8 is the death of Princess Diana on August 31st, 1997. Number 9 is Bill Clinton being impeached when he was actually impeached on December 19th, 1998.
You mean I was around that day? You would think I would remember.
Yes, that's one of those important days. And finally, number 10 is the crash of the Hindenburg on May 6th, 1937.
Yeah, these questions have me saying, oh, the humanity, but we'll get to work on these.
I think I know 3 of them for sure, which is weird.
All right, so Jeff and Neal are going to step out, and we're going to talk about it. So was September 11th, 2001 a Tuesday?
That's what I had too. I think it is a Tuesday.
Okay. I don't know almost any of these. For some reason, Princess Diana is striking me as a Wednesday.
See, I think it happened on a I think it happened on a weekend. I thought it was a Saturday for me.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, most of these are just guesses for you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, Pearl Harbor, Wednesday, December 7th, 9th. I don't think he said that.
Yeah, it's December 7th, 1941.
I don't think he said the weekday in that speech, though. I have a dream. Let's say Sunday, I suppose.
That would make a lot of sense.
Gettysburg Address. Let's just say.
I think that was. I want to say that might have been a Wednesday for some reason.
That might be the fastest Neal and I have ever stepped out and come back in.
Okay, so are you ready for the answers?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
For number 1, September 11th, 2001, Team Postman Cometh. What do you guys have?
That struck us as a Tuesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of vividly remember it being a Tuesday morning.
Yep, and that is correct. There are a few albums. I believe Jay-Z had an album that came out on that day, and obviously didn't do much in the way of record sales that day. So, number 2, bombing of Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. Triviality.
That was a Sunday morning.
Oh,
Sunday morning, and Postman.
we went with Thursday.
It is a Sunday, so points to Triviality.
You don't remember that wonderful movie?
No. Pearl Harbor
With
sucks.
Ryan Philippe. Okay, moving on to number 3, Dr. Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech from August 28th, 1963.
This is maybe a Sunday. We figured it was a weekend.
Same with us for crowds, and also he was a pastor, so we thought maybe a Sunday.
The correct answer on that one is a Wednesday.
Ooh, that's surprising.
Kind of a odd day of the week to have a large gathering, but it is a Wednesday. Okay, moving on to 4th of July, 1776, the original Independence Day number 4.
We guessed that it's a Tuesday.
We figured this had to be a weekday, that they would have been in session, so we guessed Wednesday.
Well, if there was a third team here guessing, they probably would get it by way of progression. It was a Thursday. Moving on, so no points there. Moving on to number 5, the original Constitution Day, the signing of the Constitution on September 17th, 1787. Postman, what you got?
We figured that would be a good task to procrastinate to a Friday evening.
Friday evening, okay, and then we've got Team Triviality.
We seem to be shifted off by one here. Our previous answer was off a day. This one's going to be Thursday for us. So.
Well, you're nowhere near close. We'd need a bunch more teams because this one was on a Monday. Moving on to number 6, assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28th, 1914. Triviality, what you got?
We just went, actually, I can't read your handwriting.
Thursday?
We went Thursday.
Yeah, and I knew that this was this took place on a diplomatic visit, so I said Sunday.
And your diplomatic visit on Sunday is correct. It is a Sunday, so points to Postman cometh. 7, Gettysburg Address on November 19th, 1863. Triviality.
I feel like that was a Friday. And I can't tell you why.
And Matt felt strongly that this might be a Wednesday.
Okay, correct. No points to be awarded on that one. Correct answer on this one is a Thursday.
Split the difference.
Split the difference. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, on to question number 8. The death of Princess Diana on August 31st, 1997. Go to Triviality.
So I remember this specifically. I was at my summer home in Michigan, and it was Labor Day weekend. And I feel like I woke up Sunday morning having heard the news, so I said Saturday.
Yeah, and we said the same, Saturday.
You may have woken up to that news on Sunday morning, but you're forgetting about the 7-8 hour time difference because it was on a Sunday then. So it may have happened. It may have happened and had you wake up to it, but it was later on in the day on Sunday over in the UK.
It must have been Monday morning I woke up to it then.
Okie dokie. Moving on to question number 9. Bill Clinton was officially impeached on December 19th, 1998. What day of the week was that? Postman cometh.
We went with Monday.
We'll go for Monday for Postman and for Triviality.
We felt it was good for a Monday.
Well, it was Bill Clinton, so they had to move it to the weekend. It was a Saturday. Got to ruin his weekend, you know. And the last question of the round, number 10, the Hindenburg crash on May 6th, 1937. Postman, what you got?
We felt that was a bad way to spend a Friday.
Okay, and Triviality?
We thought it was on near the weekend, too. We said Saturday.
Well, let's go backwards a little bit and call it a Thursday.
So it looks like we both climbed 10 points, bringing our total to 80 and your total to 60.
60, yeah. Stayed tight. We couldn't overtake you there.
Sorry about that Princess Diana one. If I thought about it longer, we would have had it.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, that's a long time ago. You were much younger, Jeff. Much younger.
That was 21 years ago, Neal.
You were much younger.
I was a child.
All right, let's get into round 2.
Okay, round 2. Question number 1 of round 2. Excuse me. From the Redundant Department of Redundancies Department, what desert is aptly named, since if you translate its name, it translates to the desert desert?
I think I know this one. Do you mind if I lock in?
Yeah, that's okay.
I have a guess here. I don't know why it's coming to me. I don't really know these types of things, but I wrote down Gobi Desert. Jeff seems to think that could mean desert. I'm just trying to think of other famous deserts, but Mojave doesn't seem like it would mean desert. So Gobi seems like in another language it could mean desert.
I'm trying to remember. I know I've heard this one before, and I'm getting confused because there's a few other ones that are like that where they're basically descriptions of themselves. But
I don't know. Should we go with Gobi Bryant? Or Gobi?
Sounds good with me.
Okay, we're going to go with Gobi.
Yeah, I think we did have this one before, and I can't remember if I'm remembering the right answer or the wrong answer, but we went with Gobi.
Okay, so it's a good thing that the Gobi Desert isn't in, Gobi Bryant's not in Denver, but the correct answer on this one is actually the Sahara Desert. Sahara means desert in Arabic.
I think we had this like a long time ago. We had this question. We guessed Gobi, and it was Sahara, and we're remembering the wrong answer.
Well,
sorry about that.
And the one I'm confusing it with is Chad, in whatever language that is in Central Africa, North Central Africa, means lake. So Chad is named both for the lake and the lake's name is Chad. So
And here, Chad just means white guy's name.
yes.
Yeah, or your sister's idiot boyfriend.
Okay, moving on to question number 2 of round 2. This one, since I was on the Harry Potter bonus game, I figured I'd throw you guys one Harry Potter question. Let's see how you handle it. What is the full name of the headmaster of Hogwarts during the majority of Harry Potter's time there?
Does that include like a middle name?
Every single name that he has. We're not worrying about any of they have like the designations and stuff like that on his that they say a few times, like Order of Merlin and blah, all that. None of that, just his actual names.
Okay.
In the middle?
Yeah, I think so.
I have no idea if this is right. I feel like in the trailer for the new Fantastic Beasts, they might say his full name. So
We're gonna lock in and let the other
in.
team discuss.
All right. So I had a sneaking suspicion that Albus might actually be his middle name.
Yeah, he has a couple middle names. I think it's the names, and I don't know the order exactly, but I think it's Albus, Percival, Brian is in there somewhere, and Dumbledore is the last name.
All right. Let's say Albus, Percival, Brian, Dumbledore. That's what you would like to go with?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. We're locked in.
Okay, so Postman Cometh locks in with Albus, Percival, Brian, Dumbledore. Triviality, what you got?
I have no idea where this came from. If that's right, I mean that sounds better.
No, Brian's definitely in there.
Yeah, you're going to be able to tell us, David. You're the Harry Potter guy.
Kudos to Matt.
We said Albus Phineas Dumbledore.
Phineas is the name of a previous headmaster, Phineas Nigellus, who they have his portrait up, and it's a fairly decent plot point in the later books there.
Yeah, you idiot.
Yeah. How dare you not know that Phineas Nigellus was the only Slytherin to ever be headmaster at Hogwarts, and his painting is also in the Order of the Phoenix House at Grimmauld Place. Come on! That's basic,
Neal,
man.
Come on.
I've never even read the books, and I should have known it.
You're so dumb. You're so dumb.
And it's painful for Postman Cometh. You were close. The correct answer is Albus, Percival, Wulfric, Brian, Dumbledore.
Yeah, I knew they had two.
Wulfric. Okay.
Matt, are you a big fan of Harry Potter? You seem to know that pretty well, or pretty close.
Yeah, and I knew I was missing one. I knew there was one that was in there that I was just forgetting, but it wasn't going to come to me.
That's all right. That was good. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I was when I heard those two, I was like, oh, he's got those for sure. But I couldn't remember there was another one.
Okay, moving on to question number 3. Here's one a little bit more up your guys' alley. Which professional wrestler also starred in the movie Mr. Nanny?
We're locked in.
We're locked in.
Okay, Team Triviality.
We're going to go with Terry Bollea, stage name Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, this was a childhood favorite of mine, Hulk Hogan.
That is correct, Hulk Hogan. Pretty easy one. And yes, Terry Bollea, that's always fun to look into his past. Just don't look into his present.
Yeah, as long as it's not a hidden camera, you should be fine, unless you want to see it.
Or Pasta Mania or whatever that was.
Okay.
Yeah, Postamania, no hidden cameras, and you don't want to just hear conversations that he's had backstage.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Here's one that I wrote this question because I knew it, and I didn't realize that we would have a former fellow data conversion operator for the Postal Service working here. So I'm pretty sure that Postman Cometh's going to get this one correct. This one you can either just explain the answer or give me an example. How are Canadian postal codes formatted?
I've got it. I have friends in Canada.
So they're locked in. Do you do you know this one?
I don't know it offhand. I mean, I vaguely remember this. It's like the letters of the province abbreviation, and then there's some numbers in there as well, but I don't know the exact format of it.
Just go ahead and take a stab, because I don't know.
So I'll say it's the province abbreviation followed by 3 numbers afterwards.
So you said you'd also take an example, right?
Yes, I'm willing to take an example.
Okay, so I have friends who live in Guelph, and their postal code is N1G4K7.
Jeez.
Okay, so N1G4K7 is correct because it is a 6-digit alphanumeric code going letter, number, letter, number, letter, number. I see these on a daily basis at work looking at the mail, and I always giggle a little bit to myself because I'm silly when I see things like L0L, so I get to type LOL, or, Okay, so points to Triviality, none for Postman cometh. Moving on to question number 5. This is our listener-submitted question, submitted by me, like all of the rest of the questions. Which state is nicknamed the Land of Enchantment? Which of the 50 United States is nicknamed the Land of Enchantment?
You gotta assume it's a not so great state, right? To
Right.
give themselves a name like that.
It's like when you give yourself a nickname, it's never good.
Yeah. States like call me T-Bone.
I got to get better with these. Like, this is sort of geography, and this is one of the things I'm just bad at.
You know the state that's saying call me T-Bone would be like Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you're not T-Bone.
I could see Delaware wanting in on that action, too.
Oh, speaking of Matt, of your love for Seinfeld, isn't that what George wanted his nickname to be? Was T-Bone?
Yeah, that's why
He did want to be. Yeah, he did want to be T-Bone, but he was more of a Coco. So
Coco the monkey.
I have a couple of guesses, but I don't know for sure on this one.
So
Is this
we could
the
just
Midwest?
Kansas? Sure, we can go Kansas.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking maybe like an open, like a more rural sort of state, like Wyoming, maybe Alaska, something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be one of the Dakotas as well, along the same lines. I felt like it was
South
one of
Dakota?
the either north. Yeah, I kind of think it might be South
All
Dakota.
right, let's go South Dakota.
It might be.
Locked in South Dakota.
So Postman has South Dakota. What was Triviality's answer?
Kansas.
Kansas. The correct answer is New Mexico, as opposed to
Oh, yeah.
Old Mexico.
Yeah, that's right.
New Mexico, the land of enchantment. Moving on to number 6. What color in the TV show How I Met Your Mother? What color was the umbrella owned by the mother?
Ah.
Locked in.
We're locked in.
A red herring. I thought we were going to go blue French
It's
horn
not a
on this.
red herring, nor is it a blue French horn. It's a yellow umbrella.
It is a yellow umbrella.
It is a yellow umbrella. I had wanted to do a much more in-depth, specific, fun question from How I Met Your Mother that I was going to look up, but my wife's like, no, do something that people would have more of a chance to know. So we went with the yellow umbrella.
And
Appreciate it.
what instrument his wife played?
What instrument? What?
Did his wife play that he met with the yellow umbrella?
Bass guitar.
Bass guitar. Yeah.
There you go.
You could kind of do like a color spectrum mixing. Like if
Yes.
you one French horn plus one umbrella equals what?
Oh, that's good.
Moving on to number 7. What is the highest-grossing film in history when adjusted for inflation? What is the top-grossing film in history when adjusted for inflation?
We're locked in.
So I think this is still Gone with the Wind, right?
Yeah, it's definitely Gone with the Wind.
All right, we're in with Gone with the Wind.
We're also in with Gone with the Wind because when all you have to do is go see movies multiple times a day, you're going to spend money on that. And that would have been back in 39, Gone with the Wind.
Special
So
thanks
are you-
to Movieality podcast for that one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so yep, Gone with the Wind is the correct answer. Okay, moving back into some cream of the crop professional wrestling questions here. Who are the 3 main personalities portrayed by Mick Foley, all of which entered the same Royal Rumble in 1998?
Are we locked in, Neil?
Yeah.
We're locked in.
Yeah.
You too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know Cactus Jack is one, Mankind is one, and what's the third? Just Mick Foley.
Dude Love.
Dude Love, that's right. All right, there are 3. Cactus Jack, Mankind, Dude Love.
I have to say that I'm sort of impressed at your recollection of that, Ken. I really am.
He's kind of unique.
We went with the same.
Okay, and that's the thing I love about doing, general trivia question games is you learn where the nerd in everybody lies. You guys struggled with the Harry Potter, you missed a bunch of other ones, but you go to that wrestling and you get all 3 of them: Dude Love, Mankind, Cactus Jack. So that is the three faces of Mick Foley. So points all around.
Well played to Matt to make sure both teams getting credit for that.
Okay, so moving on to question number 9. This is something that I am very well versed in, having a 3-year-old. In the children's board game Candyland, whose castle are you trying to reach to win the game? And spelling counts on this one, so you will have to spell the names. And I will freely admit that it's been around for so long that it may have gone through different iterations. I'm going off of the most recent one, which is the one that we have. So it may if anybody emails the show or comments and saying I have my copy from 1973 and it's different than this, I'm going off of a modern version.
You guys in?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you go with
Alright,
your answer.
So these guys are locked in. I think it's like King Candy, but spelled like Kandie or something crazy like that.
I was also thinking King Candy, but I wasn't sure how to spell it, but I'm
Do you
okay
want to
with
go
that.
with the double K's or maybe that just the C and then the IE?
I like the alliteration.
Okay, let's do it. King Candy with candy spelled Kandie.
I think you may be onto something there. I couldn't get Queen Frostine out of my head. I forgot about the king.
She's
though.
a babe.
Could be. I mean, there's like the lollipop, the gumdrop, licorice, fudge. Like I was trying to go through the whole list, and of course, what do I leave off as the king? But we said Queen Frostine.
She was right before.
Probably, yeah.
And I'm not even going to bother having you try to spell it because that is incorrect. It is King Candy, but it is KING KANDY.
Really close.
Just with the double K's.
As soon as you said candy with a K, I was like, oh.
I shouldn't have gone crazy there.
You went too far. Too far.
Okay, so moving on to question number 10 of this round. Final question before the final round. In the Simpsons episode Bart versus Australia, what game does Bart unwittingly play with a random Australian?
Isn't it, did you guys have this on an episode where it's like something with a boot or something like that?
Yeah, this is a different question though.
Oh, okay.
Matt, do you have any idea on this?
I think I'm close. I mean, big Simpsons fan, just trying to figure out exactly what it is.
Okay, let's let these guys lock in here.
I don't feel like a game is like a board game or card game. I feel like a game is more like a physical thing, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. I've seen the episode once, but I don't remember. That was long ago.
All right, looks like the guys are locked in here.
Yep.
So, it's a parody of Crocodile Dundee where he pulls out an object and he says, "That's not a knife. It's a spoon," I think is what he says.
Knifey spoony or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what
forky.
it is.
No, I think it's a game of knifey spoony. I think you're right.
I think it's knifey spoony is what I wrote down.
Knifey spoony.
Crap.
Okay, so Postman Cometh locks in with Knifey Spoony. What does Team Triviality have?
We said hide and seek.
Well, Bart's sitting in there playing with his pocket knife, and an Australian comes up and says, "Oh, that's not a knife, and this is a knife," holds up a spoon. Bart says, "That's not a knife, that's a spoon." And then the Australian says, "Ah, I see you've played Knifey Spoony before." So the answer is Knifey Spoony.
Great impression too.
And I was gonna say, you're welcome for those spot on Australian.
And again, apologies to our Australian listeners.
Yes, both of you. I apologize.
There really are two.
There are more than two, actually.
There are more than two?
If I look at the stats, unless they're downloading it a bunch of times.
Any of our Australian listeners, if you've seen that episode, can you please record an impression of it and then send it, and we'll play it on a future episode.
All right, so at the end of regulation, looks like the Postman Cometh has 130 and Team Triviality 110. So still a close game. Could be anybody's.
First category is Olympic royalty. Second category, obligatory Chicago question. Category number 3, four corners. Category number 4, Triviality had better get it right this time.
Pressure's on.
And question number 5 is in the category The Bane of My Existence, which doesn't really have any clues there, but I'll explain it to you when we get there.
Okay.
Better be a question about the character Bane from Batman.
What's this say?
All right, so all the wagers are in, and without further ado, let's get those questions.
Okay, and question number 1 on Olympic royalty. The question is, in the 1976 Olympics, Princess Anne of the UK competed in the equestrian events. Because she was royalty, she was given one very specific luxury that was not given to other athletes. Specifically, what did she not have to do that others did have to do? Number 2, an obligatory Chicago question. On what date were the lights at Wrigley Field first turned on for a night baseball game? Question number 3, in four corners. This is an all or nothing. If you do not get all four, you do not get any points. In which states are the northernmost, easternmost, westernmost, and southernmost points in the United States? And you need to have all four answers correct. Number 4, in the Triviality guys, better get it right this time.
Doubt it.
Which state's name literally translates to mean Green Mountain? Okay, and number 5, The Bane of My Existence. This one, to be specific, was I actually got to go on an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire a few years ago, and this is the question that I got a little bit too hyped up by the crowd, and I got incorrect. So here is the question for you. Who did Neal Bush, the son of, at the time, Vice President George Bush, have dinner plans with that had to be canceled because of the assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan's life?
All right, so the teams have had a chance to discuss the answers, and those are in now. So let's get to the answering portion.
Okay, question number 1. Team Postman Cometh, how many points did you wager?
We wagered 20 points on this one, and we felt that she probably didn't have to bow to the judges or salute the judges.
Okay, and Triviality?
We went with 0, and we said bow or curtsy.
Okay, and you said 0, so you'll be losing no points. However, Postman Cometh will be losing points because the correct answer is that she did not have to undergo gender verification at the time.
Oh, that's right.
That was much more primitive, and it was basically just you go in and let somebody look at you, and she did not have to do that because she was a royal. Okay, number 2, obligatory Chicago question. On what date were the Wrigley Field lights turned on for their first night baseball game? Postman Cometh, what did you guys wager and answer?
We wagered 10, and we said never, because we had no idea.
Okay, Triviality?
We wagered 10. We had no idea. We knew it was somewhere more recent than you would think, so we just said July 4th, 1997.
Okay, and again, another thing that I learned from a podcast, ESPN has a 30 for 30s podcasts about different sports topics, and Postman Cometh, you guys were close in your discussions. It was in 1988. It was August 8th, 1988, so 8/8/88. Okay, moving on to question number 3, Four Corners, Postman Cometh.
We wagered 0, and we think the answers are Alaska being the northernmost, Hawaii being the southern and westernmost, and then Maine being the easternmost.
Okay, Triviality?
All right. Well, we wagered 20 on this one, but I'll let Jeff take it because I had no idea on this one.
We agree that there are only 3 states: Alaska, northernmost; Maine, easternmost; Hawaii, the southernmost. But for me, it's really tough because I don't know if Alaska or Hawaii actually is further west. But in the end, we said Hawaii.
Okay, so you did catch on to a little bit of the trick there. There are not 4 correct answers. There are actually only 2 correct answers. Hawaii is the southernmost. All 3 others are Alaska because the Aleutian Islands
the international date line.
Stretch past the international date line, so they are technically the furthest east. Okay, so now moving on to question number 4. Which state's name means Green Mountain? Let's go to Postman Cometh.
Yeah, admittedly, Matt had to save my ass on this one because I remembered West Virginia was the wrong answer. Vermont is the correct answer, hopefully.
And Triviality.
We wagered a big 30 here, and we went with Vermont.
Yep, I tried really hard to find a question that there was something called Green Mountain in West Virginia just to stump you guys, but the closest I found was a very small hiking trail. But the correct answer is Vermont. So, yeah, from a few episodes back, there are a few times where one of you answers for West Virginia instead of Vermont. So,
mainly me.
Okay, so moving on to our 5th and final question in the bonus round, the bane of my existence, the question I got wrong on Millionaire. So we'll go to Postman Cometh. Who did Neal Bush cancel dinner plans with?
Man, that is a hard question. We just had to make some relation somewhere, so we said Jodie Foster.
And how many points?
10 points.
Okay, Triviality.
We wagered 5. We had no idea, really. We just knew it must have been mid-'80s or something, and Neal being the son of a Bush, and his name being Neal, he'd want to have dinner with someone who was, one of the most popular people around at the time.
Steven Spielberg.
You would think it would be Steven Spielberg.
We should have said that.
We should have. We went with Madonna.
Okay, another fun, interesting, well, not really fun for me story with this. When I got the question wrong, Terry Crews, who was the host of my season, tells me, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect." And then all of a sudden everything stops. The producer walks out. I'm thinking, "Oh, hey, maybe something else." She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, the camera didn't work right there. We need you to give the wrong answer again."
And then Terry Crews bounced his pecs at you.
Not only did I get it wrong, I had to live through the embarrassment of 2 times not knowing that Neal Bush had dinner plans with Scott Hinckley, the brother of the attempted assassin of Ronald Reagan.
How weird.
Wow.
Yeah, so at the conclusion of this game, it looks like it was a tight one. Team Triviality managed to hold on to 105, and we dropped 20 points and ended up with 110, making the postman cometh the cream crop.
Man.
Stop saying while I'm saying cream of the crop.
Sorry, go again. Because I know Jeff...
Nobody is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, here, say it again. Sorry.
We're the cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff was so in himself about this four corners question. He's like, it's probably only two, but we're gonna say three, and we would have had the game there. But that was a really great game, really tight game with well written questions, David. So thank you for writing those.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you, Matt, for being a great teammate and helping to pull me through this one, quite frankly.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Matt's going to be on a future episode of Seinfeld, Laid on Me, which we're working on. But before we get there, Matt, right off the top of your head, off the cuff, no thinking, what is your favorite episode of Seinfeld?
The Marine Biologist. George's speech at the end. Best thing to ever happen on television.
Love it.
And thanks again to David for hosting. Any parting words?
Yeah, not much. Just, again, shout out to all my fellow data conversion operators, fancy word for data entry people for the U.S. Postal Service up in Salt Lake. Hopefully come on some other time for some other episodes and, test out my new theory and my new plan that I've developed that so long as I have at least 150 points if I'm on an episode, I'm wagering 30 on all final round questions because the clues never give me anything and the ones that sound like I'm going to know nothing are the ones I know. So just go all in, 30 on everything.
There you go.
We call that pulling a Matt.
All right. Well, thank you so much for those great questions. We really appreciated it. And
My
for my
pleasure.
co-hosts, Jeff and Neal, and our guests, David and Matt, I am Ken, and that was Triviality.
That really hurt. I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot. Who throws a shoe? Honestly.